p.m. on Saturday afternoon, after which an Archaeological Survey of India officer filed a formal complaint with the Pune City Police. The women were asked to leave soon after. But the video that has now gone viral on social media was first shared by a BJP leader, has now sparked massive political fireworks in the state of Maharashtra. BJP's Rajya Sabha MP Medha Kulkarni, along with the party supporters and several other Hindu groups, protested at the site. They even performed a purification ritual at the spot where those Friday prayers were offered, the Saturday prayers were offered. In response to the opposition, now the opposition has slammed the BJP and its allies for what they claim is intolerance. An FIR has also been registered against these three women. Protests have also now been quelled over the weekend. But is that the end of this controversy, or is it a communal pot that seems to be eternally boiling only to simmer down once in a while? We'll get into that, but first the complete story. Here's why the BJP, the Hindu community, these Hindu groups are all up in arms of what transpired in Shaniwar Wada in Pune. Shaniwar Wada was built in 1732 by Peshwa Bajirao I. The fort is a reminder of the Brahmin Peshwa dynasty. It plays a crucial role in shaping the history of Marathas of Maharashtra. The fort in particular has served as the political center of the Peshwas. It is the nerve center of the Maratha Empire. That sentiment has been hurt, is what many say today. Shaniwar Wada's architecture is also a physical testament to the grandeur and might of Maratha Empire. There are several temples inside the premises of Shaniwar Wada, of what was once an opulent fort. Of course, that does not stand today, but yet that is something that stands at the heart of the Maratha culture, of the Hindu sentiment, which is why offering of namaz is extremely controversial, says the BJP and its allies. Following the controversy, like I said, these three unidentified women that were seen in that video were booked by the Pune police. They were done so that FIR was filed because the police have registered a case against deliberate and malicious intent to outrage the religious feelings of any class of citizens. This comes under section 295A of the IPC. The action follows a complaint lodged by ASI officials. However, so far, no action has been initiated against these women in terms of any arrests or questioning. Neither has any action been taken against the so-called purification ritual at the site by these Hindu groups that were led by the BJP MP. Here's what the rules state as far as offering of prayers of any kind at an ASI-protected monument is concerned. Shaniwar Wada, remember, is an ASI monument. Living monuments are protected sites where a tradition of worship has continued, even though the ASI has taken over the responsibility. The maintenance is what the ASI looks after. Prayers are allowed, but cannot introduce any new traditions or rituals. That's what the ASI rule states. The Taj Mahal is a prominent example where namaz is offered every Friday, but there are certain reasonable restrictions. Meanwhile, at sites where worship was not taking place at all when the ASI assumed control, there can be no new prayers or religious ceremonies that are permitted. Those rules are very clear. The ASI stance is that once a monument is protected, it ceases to be an active place of worship. The Shaniwar Wada is not a living monument as per these rules and therefore does not permit any sort of religious rituals or prayers. So why are we seeing this sort of controversy now? Who's really driving it? Is this about Maratha pride? Is this about hurting the sentiments of Hindus? Or is this prejudice, like the opposition claims it is? Let's open that up on Plain Speak.
हमने वहाँ छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की शिव वंदना उनको अर्पित करके उस जगह को फिर से पवित्र किया है।
हिंदू समाज के बहुत दिल के करीब है वो शनिवार वाड़ा, जिसको जहाँ प्रार्थना करने के लिए जगह दी है उसने वहाँ करना चाहिए।
एक आदमी पूजा कर रहा है, नमाज पढ़ रहा है, उसके साथ इस तरह की बदतमीजी जो हो रही बीजेपी की ना, मैं समझता हूँ ये बर्दाश्त करने के काबिल नहीं है।
पूरी जो देश की सेकुलरिज्म है, प्लुरलिज्म है, उसको नष्ट कर रहे हैं ये बीजेपी वाले।
Let's open this up. Sameer Bakre, Maharashtra BJP spokesperson, is with us. Suzi Ben Shah, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena. Atikur Rahman, Islamic scholar. Kishore Tiwari, spokesperson of the UBT Shiv Sena, is with us as well. Atikur Rahman, let me begin by asking you, as far as this particular instance goes, the rules of the ASI are very clear that you cannot offer any sort of prayers, any religious activity cannot take place inside ASI protected monuments, which is why an ASI officer went to the police, filed a complaint, which has now been converted into an FIR. So it seems like the law is taking its course. Shouldn't it?
Of course. The law should take its course. Along with it, I would also urge the police to file this particular agenda to the FIR that the prayers were not organized prayers. It was not a congregation by a large number. Since the women, I haven't talked to the women. Since the women were there and the timings of the namaz would have occurred, they offered individually. It was not an organized prayer, and it won't be repeated if there is a complaint. Now, this BJP MP, what she is signaling is, and the BJP spokesperson might also support her, that this was the purification was done for the Shudras, for the Dalits. So are we getting a signaling from the BJP that the Muslims are also, according to their Manusmriti, Shudra category people, and now the Muslims and the Shudras will be united against their unconstitutional Manusmriti likings?
But if law is taking its course, like you're saying, then why is it prejudicial or why is it against freedom of expression or freedom of practicing one's religion, as the opposition seems to be claiming that this is just prejudice? Why is it? That was my question to you.
I have said that I would urge the Muslim community, wherever they are, do not repeat such prayers and mind ourselves that we are living in a BJP-ruled enemical country. They are not friendly. Our government, our BJP-ruled government under Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah are RSS-led government.
But what has that got to do with the ASI rules that have been put in place not by a BJP government? An ASI officer has gone and filed this complaint.
Well, the ASI functions under the government of India. It's not an independent body. So if the BJP spokesperson is not agreeing to this, he should clarify on this panel that the party BJP led by RSS does not support the purification. I would agree by the terms.
Sameer Bakre, your response to the allegations that are being made both by Atikur Rahman here on this panel and by the opposition in the state, who claims that the BJP MP, Ms. Kulkarni, and everybody else who went and protested over the weekend are only trying to keep a communal pot boiling. This is a controversy that shouldn't have been one at all.
I am quite surprised by Mr. Atikur Rahman's arguments. Basically, he's saying that the law functions as per some party. It is the law of ASI that the protected monuments are there. You cannot offer any religious prayers unless and until it is a functioning worshipping place. So the Supreme Court has interpreted in the case of Taj Mahal, the namaz can be offered only on Friday, and that is only by local Agra Muslims. So what kind of arguments they are making? And there are places of worships. There are mosques in Pune. There are homes of people. They can offer namaz at those places. Why they want to instigate the religious environment in a festival of Diwali by offering namaz at a place? It was very significant in the Maratha Empire. It was a residence of Peshwas for 86 years. And already Hindu community has lots of issues because lots of mandirs and monuments were destroyed during the Mughal Empire. So remaining monuments which are ASI protected, there also you want to go and encroach. Today you will start praying for namaz. Tomorrow you will say, oh, but the namaz has already been done for so many years. Then some mazar will come and then your work board will come. So this is a pattern which happens. And why to instigate the Hindu community by offering namaz at ASI protected site? I don't understand.
Let him finish, sir. I'll give you a time.
Where is the politics? The country runs by a constitution given by Bharat Ratna Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. Are they trying to say that we are above the constitution? So this is a very blatant attempt to communalize and pass any monument which is of historical significance. And he is saying about Dr. Medha Kulkarni, the Honorable MP Rajya Sabha. The same Medha Kulkarni few days back had gone to a Garba where there was a noise pollution, and she intervened. So at that time, this same left ecosystem was appreciating her. So this is a pure political flaw. They are not saying that offering namaz at this ASI protected site was wrong. They are saying, oh,
Poonam,
but
I would like to add.
she reacted in a different way. I am not
Poonam,
on
I
the
would
way
like to add.
Dr.
Okay,
Mela
Kishore
Kulkarni
Tiwari, I'll
reacted.
let you in. Just a second.
But
Let him finish,
but
please.
there is a plan
He is
always in
talking
place of
nonsense.
this.
He is
Mr.
talking
Kishore
nonsense.
Tiwari,
Why do
mind
you
your
think?
own words.
But why do you
Mr.
think it's
Kishore
a?
Tiwari.
But
Mr.
why do you
Kishore
think,
Tiwari,
Mr.
mind
Bakre,
your
that
words.
it's a pre-planned thing?
He's talking nonsense.
Kishore Tiwari, if pre-planned or not, the point is that as per rules, this was not allowed, which is why action has been taken. What has this got to do with an assault on secularism and the BJP being prejudiced or the state government being prejudiced at all? Rules are being followed. That's about it.
First of all, I will Poonam Burde and Samir and Shah and Atikur Rahman, happy Diwali. You best of New Year that should come to your way, and prosperity and harmony. Madam, when I look at this namaz, it is quite obvious it is an innocent act. It is not an intentional one. Uh, can I should I add it? Madam, are you listening
Go ahead.
me?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Tiwari.
There should no intervention should be done. It was not organized namaz. It was a woman came with their child and time of namaz came therein after they did it. Okay, but after that, what happened? The people like Medha Kulkarni's teacher came there with the Gomutra and Gobar and they clean it. Is it a BJP endorsing it? Ajit Pawar, who is a ally of the same government, their people are just condemn the BJP act. And what is happening in India? Are you concerned about the social issues, Samir Bakre? You are a professional chartered accountant. Why you are saying this? I think these innocent ladies are not aware of the ASI rule. They have done the act, but it is not an organized one. Let the police FIR has been filed, but I would like to say the BJP they should not attend their public issue, the attention of the nation to the public issues and social problems. We have been living in 2025,
Quick rebuttal.
and Samir, why are you getting so much disturbed? We are you saying that by putting a bottle of Gomutra, you will clean the culture? This is all our people have shifted to other religion only 500-600 year back, and we are making such a great environment in the nation. It's a shameful act. Those prompt people, though have done it. We are
The simple fact of the matter here is that rules have to be followed. Suzy Ben Shah, if rules are to be followed for one aspect, then they have to be followed for the other one as well. Why was the purification ritual there conducted? Is it also not a religious practice? If one religious practice is not allowed, then they shouldn't be allowed either. But there is no FIR in that case.
Absolutely. Now, let me wish everyone a very, very happy Diwali. And thank you for having me on your show. Now, let us understand this very clearly, that Maratha Wada is it's a great heritage site, and it has got great value of cultural and historic importance for Punekars and for Maharashtra. Now, as far as namaz is concerned, yeah, it was not a mosque, certainly. You can only say namaz in a mosque. But this Shaniwar Wada is not a mosque. Maharashtra believes in inclusive growth, believes in prosperity, development for all.
Tuchiben, do not do.
Let her, Kishore Tiwari, let her finish, please. She was patiently listening to everyone. Let her finish, please. I will give everyone their time to have their say. Suzy Ben Shah, please go ahead.
We have listened to your sermon, Mr. Tiwari. Now, please hold on. As far as Maharashtra is concerned, the Mahayuti government is concerned, and Shiv Sena is concerned, we believe in inclusive growth, prosperity, and development for all, irrespective of any
Why
religion,
don't you speak to
caste,
Ajit
or creed.
Pawar? Why don't you speak to Ajit Pawar?
I'm talking
Kushibhai,
of
why
Shiv
don't
Sena.
you
I'm a
say?
Shiv Sena spokesperson, Mr. Tiwari. Follow the rules of debate. Have the patience. We listen to your
But you are
useless
not
words.
allowed to
You
speak
listen to
nonsense.
everyone. Listen to
You are
everyone,
not
Mr.
Okay,
Tiwari.
allowed to
let's
speak
please mind
nonsense.
our language and let's be
Now,
civil. Let
now,
her have
Mr.
her say, please, Mr. Tiwari. I'll come
She
back
is
to you.
talking ridiculously.
I gave you your time to say she has an opinion. She's entitled to it. We still live in a democracy. Let her have her say. You can rebut it when you have to. I'll give you your time. Don't worry. Go ahead,
As
Susie
far as
Reksha.
Shiv Sena is concerned, the only principle that we follow is growth, development for all. Now, as far as Ms. Kulkarni is concerned, I do feel
Gomutra
that
is
she
a
took
growth.
law into her
Gomutra is a
own
growth.
hand.
Mr.
There is a
Tiwari, I'm requesting you one last time, please. Let's not
distinction.
interrupt anyone.
No. Otherwise, kindly mute him. As far as Maharashtra is concerned, rule of law has to be followed. As there is investigation power lies with the police. There is a collector. He has the status of a district magistrate. He would investigate. He found so. He filed an FIR. Why Miss Kulkarni did what she did? I think it was a little. There was no reason for her to behave in the manner that she did. There is no need to take rule of law in your own hand. There is administration. There is investigative powers vested with all authorities, and I think the law will prevail in Maharashtra.
Sameer Bakre, one of your allies here on the panel, another one of your allies out in public has made it very clear they do not stand by what has happened and what Ms. Kulkarni has done.
Uh, See, Poonam, let me remind Mr. Kishore Tiwari that people were arrested when they wanted to recite Hanuman Chalisa outside Matoshri. So this is the kind of secularism or tolerance the UBT is practicing in their own world. And let me say that what Dr. Medha Kulkarni did, she did. But people are not discussing what has happened earlier. So the reaction was based on the namaz which was practiced there. So nobody is condemning that they should not do namaz at this ASI protected site. Namaz, if they want to do, they can go to the mosque. They can do namaz at their homes. So people are not allowed to offer prayers at ASI protected site. This is the basic rule of the ASI protected monuments. So why we are digressing the issue that
No, we're
BJP is
not,
doing
sir.
this?
No, we're not digressing from the issue. My question to you was very clear. I agree with you. No prayers should be allowed as per the ASI norms. So then that should be the case for Ms. Kulkarni and everybody else who did the Hindu rituals there as well, shouldn't it? The law is the same for everyone. But this incident happened on Saturday. Immediately after we saw this complaint filed by the ASI against the women that were offering the namaz, there's an FIR filed. But that hasn't happened. That alacrity hasn't been shown on the other side. Why is that?
Maybe she wanted to bring it to the notice of ASI, and the FIR was filed much later on after the process of protest by Dr. Medha Kulkarni. So let's not
How
go,
does that
go
make the
into
protest right?
No, I am not saying the protest right or wrong. I am saying you are missing the main point that namaz cannot be offered at the ASI protected monument. Nobody is condemning that. Everyone is saying what Dr. Medha Kulkarni did or what she should not have done. So I am asking a straight question to Mr. Kishore Tiwari. Hanuman Chalisa recitation was the reason for arrest of the Rana couple from Amravati. So they were arrested and kept in custody for 10 days. So this is the kind of advice they should give to Mr. Uddhav Thackeray when he was in the government. So everyone should follow the law of the land. Everyone should follow the law of the land.
You should
And
allow
ASI norms are not for BJP or Congress, as Mr. Atikur Rahman was saying. It is for the entire country. It is for the citizens of the country. And
Absolutely,
otherwise
and we do
also,
hope that the rule of law in Maharashtra is equal for everyone. But Kishore Tiwari, speaking of hypocrisy, the Aghadi or the UBT Sena, when they were in power, they do not come out smelling like roses either. And there have been instances that have been pointed out by the BJP spokesperson on the panel. How would you respond to that?
Samir has responded to the incident of Ravi Rana and his wife, and it was unfortunate. The Hanuman Chalisa should have been allowed to recite every place. Why it was done? And people have punished Uddhav Thackeray for that. But this incident, are you categorizing that Uddhav Thackeray did so we are doing it? There is a woman have done recited the namaz intentionally, then it's a matter of concern. But I would say very few people know that there are the ASI restriction. I have seen in the gardens where women are reciting the namaz when namaz timing comes. But the purification drive, but like Megha Kulkarni, who is the tallest leader in Pune, is a member of parliament. Is it being admitted by BJP, Narendra Modi ji and Devendra Fadnavis ji? Initially, I should condemn the Megha Kulkarni's act. I think this is a publicity stunt of a BJP making the issue out of proportion. And Hinduism is not an issue before the nation. Hinduism is the part and parcel of India. We are fighting for an economic crisis, and Samir, you are an economist. You should concern over it. Are you concerned with the Gomutra being purification drive with the Gomutra, or you are concerned with the economic issue before the nation? Let Narendra Modi ji should come out that their team members are doing this tamasha. It is a legitimate one. I would say it is a legitimate one. Then it is a matter of concern for the secular India. We should allow everything. We have been telling in Maharashtra, दूतांचे तिमिर जावो, सर्व धर्मे सकर्मे पावो, जे जे वांछील ते लावो, पसाय दाने. This is a Maharashtra where every religion was respected by Shivaji Maharaj. In their army, the generals were Muslims. Why don't you, Samir, you are a spokesperson of a BJP. It doesn't mean that you should support the nonsense of your own member of parliament. This is a public stunt.
Samir Bakre, that's what it seems like, that this is an issue that was blown out of proportion, and that it turns out to be a publicity stunt is what many of your allies also believe, that maybe the issue of sentiments being hurt, maybe one of your ministers coming out and saying that would you allow Hanuman Chalisa at Haji Ali is not the right comparison to make. It's not the right sentiment, and that's not what the state of Maharashtra stands for.
Poonam ji, under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable CM Devendra ji Fadnavis, every day new big and innovative projects are being inaugurated, be it Mumbai, be it Pune, be it Nagpur. I am surprised Mr. Kishore Tiwari is not appreciating the work which Mr. Devendra Fadnavis is
appreciating that.
And
I am just condemning
and
that.
Our Honorable Prime
I am
Minister
appreciating
Narendra Modi.
that.
Please let me complete. And our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has a slogan, and he lives by that slogan: "Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas." And every scheme of government of India or government of Maharashtra is for the benefit of the citizens of the country. The issue was
Samir,
blown
I am
out of
talking
the
about
proportion
the
because
nonsense.
the issue was
talking about
blown
the
out
nonsense
of the
of Megha
proportion
Kulkarni.
because certain opposition
Samir,
parties
I am talking
speak of
about
their
the
issue.
nonsense of
Mr.
Megha
Kishore
Kulkarni.
Mr. Kishore Tiwari, you are saying that innocently people are offering namaz. You should also condemn in the same way that they should be educated that namaz has to be offered at only designated places. So this issue was blown out of the proportion by opposition parties, not by BJP. BJP is responding to the question. Mr. Rane also responded to a pointed question asked to him. So he said that if Hanuman Chalisa can be recited at Haji Ali, that was a counter question which he asked in response to the question. So we believe in the agenda of development. We believe in the agenda of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, and the India is the fastest growing economy in the world. IMF director has recently said 6.8 we are growing. So what kind of things you are talking? We are committed to maintaining the law and order of the state. And if anyone attempts to disturb it, the law will take its own course.
And we do hope that's applied. We do hope that's applied on the other side as well. But Atikur Rahman, as far as the reactions coming in from the opposition are concerned, the opposition too has made this about how freedom of expression, freedom of practicing your religion has gone for a toss. But if this was such a non-issue as is being claimed and the BJP is being accused of blowing it out of proportion, then treat it like one. Why turn it around and accuse the government of the day of things that it hasn't done?
Poonam, look at the crystal clear message the BJP spokesperson is doing, that they are very much interested in tit for tat. Since Hanuman Chalisa was not allowed, and mind you, Uddhav Thackeray never did a purification ceremony after he stopped that.
He arrested people.
If Hanuman Chalisa is so problematic that you need to go and recite it before Uddhav Thackeray's bungalow? Why, sir? If it is religious,
I was calling
why
out the hypocrisy of Mr. Kishore
make
Tiwari.
religion?
I was
Mr.
calling out the
Samir,
hypocrisy of Mr.
do
Kishore
not
Tiwari.
stand the indefensible. Mr. Samir, you need just to say that the purification ceremony was bad on the part of the BJP MP, and this will be ending the entire controversy. The Muslims are not insisting that no, they will be again tomorrow going and offering namaz. No, we are not interested doing that. So you should just say that the purification ceremony by the BJP MP was very bad in taste. That's all. That's the controversy.
So why is this controversy then brewing, Suzy Ben Shah? Why is it that we're still talking about this? Because clearly it's being fueled from both sides.
He has gone in dark.
Suzy Ben Shah, I believe you're on mute. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Rule of law will prevail in the state of Maharashtra. Now, to answer Mr. Tiwari's claims, we are the fourth largest, fastest growing economy. Maharashtra is the most progressive state with the maximum economic investment. It's the fintech capital of India. So let's not tell him about growth, prosperity, and progress of Maharashtra. Maharashtra, the rule of law is always followed. We cannot sit on this media channel and decide what steps will be taken, if at all, against Ms. Kulkarni. There are enough investigative powers. There is police, there is collector, would do what is necessary, and the steps will be taken. So let us not make a mole out of mountain. Yes, something was done. A namaz was performed. It was Shaniwar Wada is not a
But
mosque.
who started it, Suzy Ben Shah? Who made a mountain of a molehill?
No, because starting praying namaz.
Why were protests held? Why was the purification ritual held if it was such a non-issue?
Understand this. There are fixed timing of praying or doing namaz, right? Everyone is aware. So the lady in question could have planned accordingly. In a public place, in the entire Maharashtra, no namaz, no aarti is allowed. It is a proclaimed fact. You have to abide by it. If you don't abide by it, you have to pay a price for it. As far as Ms. Kulkarni is concerned, if their religious sentiments are hurt, proper steps would be taken, investigation will be done, not over a media channel, not over a debate, but rule of law will prevail. We are not a banana republic. Mr. Tiwari, we have had enough of his sermons. He's running out of arguments. He himself said that Uddhav Thackeray is paid a penalty. He's absolutely non-existent in Maharashtra and particularly in Mumbai. And you will see once again under the leadership of Eknath Raoji Shinde, each and every corporation, each and every Jilla Parishad.
Sure, and we'll hold the state government to the law taking its course. But Atikur Rahman, you had a point to make, I believe.
Tusi Ben, how many parliamentarians of the BJP have done this on the floor of the Lok Sabha in Parliament? And mind you, you check on her, this BJP MP will be elevated to more higher positions post this episode, because this is the certificate given by the BJP RSS that you make
BJP functions, how RSS
against Muslims.
It is not for you to comment. This is not fair. You must talk about. No, I don't appreciate this. You must talk about. You must talk about your political party, your ideology. What BJP does, what Mahayuti does, it's not up to you. You are not the spokesperson of BJP.
And what may or may not happen in the future is not something that we can impute motives to at the moment. But we do hope that law does take its own course and the course of the law of the land. I have to leave it there. I thank you all for joining us here on this edition of Plain Speak. Shifting focus now, a month after US President Donald Trump announced a jaw-dropping $100,000 price tag, equivalent to about 90 lakh rupees for certain visa applicants, the administration has now spilled the details. There is some reprieve that has come to the fore with this clarification. The announcement has brought relief to at least those H-1B visa holders that are already in the United States. Let's break it down to you of what exactly has changed. The previous notification stated, or the previous rule stated, that employers within the United States filing for new or for renewal petitions of H-1B visas will have to pay a certain fee. However, this October clarification that has come to the fore states that only new petitions from outside the United States, which are made after the 21st of September, they will have to pay the steep price. In terms of the amount that was supposed to be paid for this particular visa, the previous notification stated that about $2,000 to $5,000, depending on what kind of visa, depending on the size of company, what your employer wanted you to do, that was the variation, or that was the bracket in which you would have to pay for. The latest notification states that it is a $100,000 tag on new petitions or new applications that are filed after the 21st of September. There are going to be no fees on renewals of the existing H-1B visa holders. The annual cap for the H-1B visa program, as mentioned as per the norms earlier, was 65,000 for regular H-1Bs and for 20,000 for advanced degrees. Now that largely remains unchanged. There is no specification that has come to the fore with this new clarification, but given that new applicants will now have to shell out far more, which is $100,000, it looks like new applicants will be threatened by that, and that cap of about 80,000 H-1B visa holders that India had, that could significantly go down from here on. So who's exempt and who is not? All new H-1B petitions after September 21st will now have to pay that hefty fee. Petitions for workers outside the United States without a valid visa will have to pay. Anyone who's seeking consular access or port of entry for workers in the United States, the employers will have to pay this particular fee. Petitions where change of status or amendment to the status of your visa, that request is denied, then you do have to pay this fee. The exemptions include the following. If you are a current H-1B visa holder in the United States who is requesting for an extension or an amendment, then you do not have to pay this $100,000 fee. Any applicant that is filing for a change of status, where you're a student, you had a 3-year H-1B visa, you want to change that to the status of a student to an employed individual in the United States, if you're doing that and that's already approved, then you do not have to pay this fee. Existing H-1B holders who are traveling outside the country or re-entering the country, they too are exempt from this particular fee. Now, the H-1B program has helped not just Indians, it's helped the United States as well. Cheaper skilled labor has seen a boost of growth in computer science. It has encouraged startups in the United States. There's more innovation, there's raised productivity. Growth in tech lifted wages in other sectors too, which helps both graduates outside computer science and non-graduates. That's something that the United States has witnessed. It has led to lower prices for technology products. It has led to faster innovation and improved consumer welfare of not just the Indian community in the United States, but Americans as a whole. Around 3 million H-1B workers pay billions in taxes. They spend heavily in the United States. That spurs local businesses, it supports local economies and the American economy as a whole. Research also shows that each H-1B visa can create nearly 2 extra jobs for Americans because it boosts demand and business expansion. That's something that could be lost as well if H-1B visa holders go significantly down. Many H-1B visa holders file patents, they launch businesses, they've contributed to breakthroughs, including COVID-19 vaccines in the last couple of years. The program is concentrated in tech cities like New York, San Francisco, San Jose. That reinforces the global competitiveness. Without the H-1B visa or without the number of Indians or number of foreigners that we see on that visa in the United States, many of these American firms are risking offshoring work to Canada or to India or to China. What that means is that growth and innovation will be taken away from the United States, something that the Trump administration is pushing forth with of keeping in-house. As of 2023, there were approximately 3.86 lakh Indians that were holding this H-1B visa. That reflected a steady rise in the number of Indian professionals that were working in the United States. In 2022, about 3.2 lakh Indians were granted these visas. That represented a consistent upward trend that we have seen so far. Indian workers make up for a dominant share of this H-1B visa workforce. About 72.3% of the total H-1B visa allocation is meant for Indians. It's the highest. It solidifies the position as the largest group of foreign nationals that benefit from this particular program. So what comes next? Will that number go significantly down or will that change? Well, only time will tell in the second year of Trump 2.0. Back to what's happening here at home. Lokpal, which is India's anti-corruption ombudsman, has found itself on the receiving end of outrage and criticism. This after it floated a tender to purchase 7 high-end BMW sedans, one for each of its members, including the chairperson. This move has triggered a controversy. Some justified the tender, while many others, and most of them, questioned the need for these high-end luxury cars. Now, according to a notification that CNN News 18 has accessed, it's dated October 16th, the Lokpal of India has invited open tenders from reputed agencies for supply of 7 BMW 3 Series cars to the Lokpal of India. The notice further mentioned that the offer will remain valid for a period of 90 days, which is 3 months from the date of opening. The notice said that the Lokpal requires the selected vendor to conduct comprehensive training for drivers and other designated staff members as well. So it's not just the purchase of these cars, they also want training. Training should be completed within 15 days of the delivery of the car. So there's a deadline that's set as well. And that's something that has raised eyebrows. What's the rush is also what many have asked. What the tender also notes is that it shall comprise both classroom sessions and on-road practical sessions, along with teaching them about cars' electronic systems and their operations. Now, while the Lokpal so far has remained tight-lipped on this and has not really come out and responded to the outrage, they've floated this tender in the first place to claim that this will only strengthen the administrative and logistical framework. But questions are being raised about why an anti-corruption body wants such lavish purchases in the first place. That too at the exchequer's money. Why should you and I, the taxpayer, pay for it? Lokpal says that 7 cars are intended for the official transport of the top Lokpal officials. This procurement process is a routine one, they say, and will only ensure that these vehicles meet the functional and administrative needs of the organization. Well, what administrative need is required that you need a 70 lakh rupees car is what many are asking. Critics question the necessity of such expensive vehicles for official transport, especially when a similar level of security and reliability could be achieved with a far more economic alternative. 7 luxury cars have now been sought, like I pointed out. There are 9 members of the Lokpal. There are 7 cars that the tender has been floated for. Approximately each of this car costs about 70 lakh rupees. So in all, the Lokpal is looking to spend 5 crore rupees. 5 crores, that is not their money to spend, that is the exchequers, the taxpayers' money. What exactly does the Lokpal want to do with these luxury cars? What explains the kind of splurge that they are intending to do?
The exact model that they want, what the tender says, is procuring the BMW 330 Li long wheelbase sport model in white color.
Good vehicle is a very essential requirement for any public office because they have to travel a lot. So security is important, safety is important.
What's your first reaction to this kind of request that's being made at all by a corruption watchdog?
I think it's a very interesting request, and I totally support it because, after all, in these 7 years, they have given only 7 prosecution sanctions, and therefore 7 BMW cars would be, absolutely ideal. So far, the BMW fleet is servicing only the Prime Minister's cavalcade, and it'll be great if Lokpal will also get this because about Lokpal in 2023, the Parliamentary Standing Committee said that the performance is not at all satisfactory. In fact, Justice Santosh Hegde also expressed his disappointment. And at a time when people are really questioning as to why Lokpal is still there, getting BMW cars will be really fantastic for shoring up their image.
The track record is, like you said, is quite abysmal, to say the very least, at such a request coming at that time. But also the question of why the taxpayer should be paying this. This is 5 crore rupees that can be put to much better use, isn't it?
In fact, I would go further. I would say in a democracy where institutions like Lokpal are meant to service the public, it should be closed down because it has not performed. In the last 7 years, it has done nothing. And it is, in fact, the other watchdogs have done much better. And in the present way, the way Lokpal is functioning, is just no point. It doesn't have any, it is taking up middle, level cases. There's no big fish which has been caught. It had been given wide powers over the ministers, over the Prime Minister. It hasn't been given powers over the judges. So, given the state of things, either you amend, either you give the powers to take up suo moto hearings against corruption which are actually happening. For example, in Bombay, when the builders are saying that the bureaucrats and the ministers are asking for extremely exorbitant bribes, these are places where Lokpal should be allowed to go suo into and dig out corruption, instead of just sitting and waiting for complaints and processing only a very minuscule percentage.
But what could be the solution to that, Yashowardhan Azad? What do you think should happen? Should a body like the Lokayukta, the Lokpal, should be completely dismantled because they seem to be very toothless at the moment, or should there be a better mechanism to keep them accountable as well?
But there are two ways to do it. One is, you have a plethora of anti-corruption agencies in the country. You have the ED, you have the CBI, you have the CVC. So the question is, if you are making another body, then the body should be distinct. It should be able to function and function with any kind of authority. If the Lokpal does not have the authority, for example, to ask the CBI, why are the cases not being prosecuted of the politicians of both the ruling parties and the opposition together? And it should get into it. Number two, why shouldn't the Lokpal have the authority to speed up those cases which are lying frozen with the CBI? Number three, why shouldn't the Lokpal have the suo moto powers to get into these corruption scandals which come out from Karnataka or Maharashtra or anywhere else? Unless you do that, Lokpal is of no use. It should be closed down because it is carrying a huge amount of burden on the exchequer.
And that's really the most important bit, that forget about these 5 crore rupees that we are hoping, or the Lokpal is hoping to spend right now, but what about the money that has already been spent? The kind of infrastructure that is meant for this institution, the kind of salaries that are paid out, the kind of ancillary money that is spent, all of which is going out of the taxpayers' money and very little results coming out of it.
I absolutely agree. And the other thing is that it's most important that when you have a body like Lokpal, listen, there were a lot of expectations riding on the Lokpal. You recall the Anna Hazare agitation, and people thought that this is kind of panacea. And for the first time, this anti-corruption watchdog is virtually going to sweep the country, catching some of the biggest guys. Nothing of that kind has happened. And it's such a shocker today that even if you see on the Lokpal website, there is hardly any information coming on it. And this idea of getting a retired judge has also not helped at all. I mean, what we need is an active body in Lokpal, a real watchdog. It can be anyone. It can be an IT professor who can watch around what are the things which are being raised in the country, what are the issues raised by the newspaper, media, the public. Where is the actual fire coming from, and get into that and dig into it and then do an investigation. That is the way the Lokpal should function, not just sitting around and taking complaints and saying that 68% of them do not meet the technical requirements, so reject it. That is not the way to do it.
Who holds the Lokpal accountable? Who says that there is a need or there isn't a need for these 7 luxury cars for this tender to be floated at all? And even if it is, then it should be taken back. Well, the Lokpal is an independent body. The parliament is eventually who it is accountable to. So why are politicians not speaking up or outraging as many of us citizens are doing? Well, my colleague Aman Sharma spoke with UBT Shiv Sena MP Priyanka Chaturvedi on this entire controversy. Listen in.
So we are joined by Shiv Sena UBT Rajya Sabha MP Priyanka Chaturvedi ji, and Priyanka ji, the story we have broken earlier today morning that the Lokpal of India is looking to buy 7 BMW cars, each of them worth nearly rupees 70 lakh. What do you make of this intended purchase, and what does this speak of the anti-corruption ombudsman of the country?
No, it's actually Lokpal has converted itself into a joke pal. The reason by which it came into being was to check on corruption and to prioritize that we see minimal corruption. But imagine the people who are going to be fighting corruption cannot see, moving around without an expensive sedan, and that too, which is a foreign make. what does it also speak about Prime Minister speaking at every forum about buying Swadeshi, and all our cabinet ministers, you cover the parliament, Amarji, and you see our own members of parliament, they come in these, humble sedans themselves. So for Lokpal to believe that it is, in a league of its own, and it can dictate terms and buy cars worth 70 lakhs, it's literally a slap on the faces of all the Indian taxpayers who are looking at Lokpal to probably curb the corruption issue that has plagued the country forever and ever. So I would just say that they've made a joke out of it, and I'm hoping that they would review your news break. Firstly, I believe it's your news break. So congratulate you that you're holding institutions to account, and this comes under accountability and transparency, and they would feel some shame and call back that tender that they have put out to buy these exclusive, luxury cars.
And Priyanka ji, also, though Lokpal is an independent body and it's anti-corruption, ombudsman, the government has also been speaking a lot about, Swadeshi, going for Swadeshi goods and, austerity as well. I even see, top ministers and top secretaries, in Maruti or Tata cars.
Exactly. That's what I was telling you. Even if you come to the parliament, when you cover the parliament, you see all our ministers coming in that. You see that none of the members of parliament have the luxury of, getting a Indian taxpayer funded car for themselves, which is absolutely fine. I mean, not that I'm making a case for that, but it just says that if there is austerity being followed at every point and every step, where we are conscious about accountability, why is it that such statutory bodies that came into being to handle this kind of transparency are not following that?
Kabhi na. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Days after a heated war on X over Bengaluru's infrastructure, Biocon founder Kiran Majumdar-Shaw met with Karnataka's Deputy CM D.K. Shivakumar. Following the meeting, Shivakumar said that they had an engaging discussion on Bengaluru's growth, innovation and the path ahead for Karnataka's growth story. Meanwhile, Congress government sources have revealed that the Deputy CM has assured Shaw of visits to key areas in the city to engage with industry on improving infrastructure and advised avoiding controversial statements. Meanwhile, industrialist and ex-Infosys CFO Mohandas Pai has criticized the state government, alleging that those questioning poor infrastructure in Bengaluru are being targeted. Rohini Swami brings you more.
Let me ask you a straight question, Mr. Pai. Now, this when the trolls have been saying, and they speak about saying, why do you speak up when it talks about infrastructure? Why don't you do it with other governments? Why do it with only the Congress government? Why have you not done with the previous governments? Or for that matter, even Kiran Majumdar-Shaw, and question that whether you're like Kannadigas at all. How do you react?
I think they're all ill-informed and bigoted. We have been talking about infrastructure for the last 15-20 years. I've spoken about corruption in the government 15 years back, 10 years back, in the Bommai government. In the Bommai government, we've spoken about infrastructure. We've gone and met Chief Minister Bommai. We've gone and met everybody. It's a continuous thing. It's nothing that has happened just now.
Yeah.
Only thing is today it's got worse, and there are a lot more people angry and upset. For example, I spoke about the need for expanding the road on Bellary Road next to the palace, next to Palace Orchards. It is done. We spoke about expanding the road, which is that Hebbal flyover with the Bommai government. They started the work. Now it's getting completed with 2 more loops. Okay. Peripheral road, we've spoken about it for long. We've spoken about expanding the Nandi road for long. I mean, it goes back 30-35 years. This is not today's problem. We spoke about expanding the Hosur road. We all went on the Hosur road in 1995 and started cleaning up the road, building the road. I think people have forgotten. These are all not Kannadigas.
After Biocon founder Kiran Majumdar-Shaw meets Chief Minister Siddaramaiah on Bengaluru's infrastructure issues, sources told CNN News 18 that Kiran Majumdar-Shaw has highlighted key infrastructural concerns in Bengaluru. This, of course, includes issues with roads, as has also been highlighted by Mohandas Pai. Garbage and the city's overall infrastructure. The Chief Minister has now requested Shaw and the industry's cooperation in improving Bengaluru's infrastructure. He's urged all stakeholders to speak carefully on these issues as their statements carry significant weightage among the public and investors who are looking to invest in not just Bengaluru but Karnataka as a whole. Shaw has in fact emphasized the public outrage over poor infrastructure and roads. She's called for urgent attention. Rohini Swami has been tracking that story for us. She joins me on the phone line as well. Good morning to you, Rohini. If you could take us through the response that's come in after Kiran Majumdar Shaw highlighted all of those issues and how she has been at the forefront now tackling this problem after Mohandas Pai was attacked.
Well, Kiran Majumdar Shaw and Mohandas Pai have been some of the loudest voices that we have seen, especially when it comes to telling the Karnataka government as to what the pain points are in Bengaluru, especially in its infrastructure. And for the fact that they have been explaining through examples as well. When Kiran Majumdar Shaw spoke about a Chinese visitor who had come into Bengaluru and asked whether there's any engagement with the government and infrastructure projects at all, because the way the garbage that was seen in the city as well and the pothole roads itself clearly shows that there needs to be a lot of work done. This is something that she's been highlighting, and as well, Mohandas Pai also speaking about it very clearly and telling the government also that these are not criticism of the government, it is criticism of governance and constructive criticism. The fact that they all are looking at building Bengaluru, the people who have been a part of the Bengaluru growth story, there have been people who are from Infosys to Biocon and several other companies. And Bengaluru, if you remember also, the public sector undertakings like BEML and HAL, all of them build Bengaluru as its brand is today. And that is why it is important to keep the name of Bengaluru as one of the global cities and for investors to come in. Here, this meeting with the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, as well as the Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, also very clearly shows that they are serious in terms of engagement. The government also saying that we will ensure and we will look at these places which are being highlighted. There's been a paper also, we were told, that was submitted about the various issues that need to be addressed in Bengaluru specifically. And Siddaramaiah has assured to Shaw as well as the industry as well that things will be looked into. DCM also, Shivakumar also saying that let's not engage in a public spat. Let's get into working with constructive criticism and work with the government.
So what's also standing out right now is the conscious effort being made by the...
Thank you for staying with us. 8 Napoleonic-era jewels with inestimable value were stolen from Paris's famous Louvre Museum in under 8 minutes. The daring robbery, reportedly carried out by 4 people, has sent shockwaves not just across France but around the world. It has sparked outrage, disbelief and a full-blown national investigation. So how did they do it and what happens next? Here's a report.
An elaborate robbery and jewelry heist in broad daylight at one of the most famous museums in the world. French authorities say thieves stole priceless jewelry from the Louvre in Paris Sunday.
It does appear that these were extremely well-trained robbers. They planned this meticulously, obviously.
The break-in happened in the museum's Apollo Gallery, which houses the French crown jewels as well as treasures, including Louis XIV's hardstone vessel collection. The thieves raiding the gallery in just 7 minutes at around 9:30 local time Sunday morning, just 30 minutes after the museum opened. Officials have not yet released full details on the stolen items or what they're worth. The Louvre is the largest art museum in the world, spanning more than 750,000 square feet. The Apollo Gallery is located on the first floor, not far from where the Mona Lisa is hanging. Officials say the thieves entered the museum from the outside using an external freight elevator that was on a truck, then forced open a window to get in. They then fled on motorcycles.
Nobody knew what happened. Like we heard the sounds and we didn't have no clue that it was a robbery.
The Louvre is the most visited museum in the world, welcoming more than 8.5 million visitors last year. Following the break-in, museum officials ushering out visitors and evacuating the building. The Louvre now closed.
It's a pity, but I think that when it is this is so exceptional, I think they can't do anything about it.
It takes a while to get the tickets to get in here, so it's a little disappointing.
Co-powered by. This is News 18 Network. In India's largest news network.
Days after a heated war on X over Bengaluru's infrastructure, Biocon founder Kiran Majumdar-Shaw met with Karnataka's Deputy CM D.K. Shivakumar. Following the meeting, Shivakumar said that they had an engaging discussion on Bengaluru's growth, innovation and the path ahead for Karnataka's growth story. Meanwhile, Congress government sources have revealed that the Deputy CM has assured Shaw of visits to key areas in the city to engage with industry on improving infrastructure and advised avoiding controversial statements. Meanwhile, industrialist and ex-Infosys CFO Mohandas Pai has criticized the state government, alleging that those questioning poor infrastructure in Bengaluru are being targeted. Rohini Swami brings you more.
Let me ask you a straight question, Mr. Pai. Now, when the trolls have been saying, and they speak about saying, why do you speak up when it talks about infrastructure? Why don't you do it with other governments? Why do it with only the Congress government? Why have you not done with the previous governments? Or for that matter, even Kiran Majumdar-Shaw, and question that whether you're like Kannadigas at all. How do you react?
I think they're all ill-informed and bigoted. We have been talking about infrastructure for the last 15-20 years. I've spoken about corruption in the government 15 years back, 10 years back, in the Bommai government. In the Bommai government, we've spoken about infrastructure. We've gone and met Chief Minister Bommai. We've gone and met everybody. It's a continuous thing. It's nothing that has happened just now.
Yeah.
Only thing is, today it's got worse, and there are a lot more people angry and upset. For example, I spoke about the need for expanding the road on Bellary Road next to the palace, next to Palace Orchards. It is done. We spoke about, expanding the road, which is that Hebbal flyover with the Bommai government. They started the work. Now it's getting completed with 2 more loops. Okay. Peripheral road, we've spoken about it for long. We've spoken about expanding the Nandi road for long. I mean, it goes back 30-35 years. This is not today's problem. We spoke about expanding the Hosur road. We all went on the Hosur road in 1995. And started cleaning up the road, building the road. I think people have forgotten. These are all not Kannadigas.
After Biocon founder Kiran Majumdar-Shaw meets Chief Minister Siddaramaiah on Bengaluru's infrastructure issues, sources told CNN News 18 that Kiran Majumdar-Shaw has highlighted key infrastructural concerns in Bengaluru. This, of course, includes issues with roads, as has also been highlighted by Mohandas Pai, garbage and the city's overall infrastructure. The Chief Minister has now requested Shaw and the industry's cooperation in improving Bengaluru's infrastructure. He's urged all stakeholders to speak carefully on these issues, as their statements carry significant weightage among the public and investors who are looking to invest in not just Bengaluru but Karnataka as a whole. Shaw has in fact emphasized the public outrage over poor infrastructure and roads. She's called for urgent attention. Rohini Swami has been tracking that story for us. She joins me on the phone line as well. Good morning to you, Rohini. If you could take us through the response that's come in after Kiran Majumdar-Shaw highlighted all of those issues, and how she has been at the forefront now tackling this problem after Mohandas Pai was attacked.
Well, Kiran Majumdar-Shaw and Mohandas Pai have been some of the loudest voices that we have seen, especially when it comes to telling the Karnataka government as to what the pain points are in Bengaluru, especially in its infrastructure. And for the fact that they have been explaining through examples as well. When Kiran Majumdar-Shaw spoke about a Chinese visitor who had come into Bengaluru and asked whether there's any engagement with the government and infrastructure projects at all, because the way the garbage that was seen in the city as well and the pothole roads itself clearly shows that there needs to be a lot of work done. This is something that she has been highlighting, and as well, Mohandas Pai also speaking about it very clearly and telling the government also that these are not criticism of the government, it is criticism of governance and constructive criticism. The fact that they all are looking at building Bengaluru, the people who have been a part of the Bengaluru growth story, there have been people who are from Infosys to Biocon and several other companies. And Bengaluru, if you remember also, the public sector undertakings like BEML and HAL, all of them build Bengaluru as its brand is today. And that is why it is important to keep the name of Bengaluru as one of the global cities and for investors to come in. Here, this meeting with the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, as well as the Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, also very clearly shows that they are serious in terms of engagement. The government also saying that we will ensure and we will look at these places which are being highlighted. There's been a paper also, we were told, that was submitted about the various issues that need to be addressed in Bengaluru specifically. And Siddaramaiah has assured to show, as well as the industry as well, that things will be looked into. TCM also, Shiv-Kumar also saying that let's not engage in a public spat. Let's get into working with constructive criticism and work with the government.
So what's also standing out right now is the conscious effort being made by the Karnataka government, whether it's the Deputy Chief Minister or the Chief Minister himself, and they are urging not Kiran Majumdar-Shaw, in fact even Mohandas Pai, to speak more carefully on these issues, stating that these statements also carry significant weightage. Why is the Karnataka government currently so rattled and feeling the heat of this kind of these attacks?
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan. First up, viewers, Bharat witnessed record-breaking Deepavali sales this year, with the total festive trade touching 6.05 lakh crore rupees, comprising of 5.4 lakh crore in goods and about 65,000 crore in services. And according to the Confederation of All India Traders,